Mark.
All right, we on. Hey, what's going on, guys? Jason Lore here with Jason Lore Photography and Films, and welcome back to another episode of the Weekend Walk with yours truly. We're back out here in McKinley Park in Sacramento, California. So last time we were here, this whole place was filled with the roses in the rose garden. Well, looks like they did a little bit of trimming, so hopefully it should be back in the spring. Right now it's January, going on to February 2022. So anyways, let's go ahead and get this walk started. So anyways, first things first, I hope everybody's doing well and, you know, staying healthy and staying strong. So yeah, this week I wanted to talk to you guys about scheduling and why it's just so important for both filmmaking, photography, screenwriting, and just, you know, life itself. So well, let's go ahead and start with screenwriting. So, you know, for me it's been like really challenging, especially with like a day job, also with family and friends, as well as like a relationship right now. You know, I think like just making time to write is just so challenging because, you know, after you're working an 8-hour shift, and hopefully just an 8-hour shift and not a 16-hour shift, you know, I come home, I could be exhausted or just completely like, you know, drained from like having to deal with so much stuff at work that I may not have the energy to write at all. So that's one of the factors that may play into me not being able to write. But at the same time, that goes back to like, okay, how much time do I have, you know, to at least put in some writing before other things happen? You know, like hanging out with family or hanging out with that special someone. You know, it's very challenging. So for me, I try to put at least an hour into like doing some writing. So it could be whatever screenplay that I'm working on, and just devote like at least an hour to like some writing. And if I'm focused, then I can at least put in an hour of just, you know, writing. But, you know, that's only because I don't have, you know, any kids. If I had kids, then it'll be a little more challenging because, you know, I know some writers out there who have kids. It's like that's usually the toughest part, is having to find the time to be, you know, dad, husband, and or wife, or, you know, just making that time for them after like a long day at work. Because a lot of these other writers, they also have day jobs. So, you know, after just coming home from just a long day at work, it's like now you got all these other tasks to do. So if I were to be a parent, I would say at least 30 minutes of my time to write. I would still try and shoot for an hour, but again, depending on like how you know, demanding your family is. Some can be pretty demanding from what I've you know, heard the stories of. But you know, I would put in like at least like half an hour. You know, you'd be amazed on like how much you can get done before you're completely like just overexhausted. Or shoot, for me, I would just play a movie for the kids. They watch it and then, you know, they do their thing, I do my thing. But I mean, that's just me. But it's just, you know, having like at least an hour of writing, you know, that makes a whole difference in the world. But otherwise, if I was a full-time writer, shoot, I would do writing like at least 3 or 4 hours a day, and then just go out and do a little walk and, you know, hang out with friends and family. So that's another factor as well. Here, let's go and walk over here. But yeah, that's pretty much my scheduling for writing. And then now comes let's go into filmmaking. Or you know what, actually, let's do photography. We'll save the biggest one for last. So as far as like photography goes, you know, scheduling is all about making time for like certain events that I'm going to be, you know, taking part of. So that could be like weddings, weddings, birthdays, anniversaries. I mean, like I always tell my friends or family or whoever my clients are that, okay, I need to know what day and time that this is going to take place, because, you know, it could conflict with my day job or, you know, other projects or other assignments that I have. So those assignments can be like a film project, a screenwriting, or, you know, other photography projects. So for me, like depending on what the gig is, it could be, and like say weddings. Weddings are usually the biggest one, because you're not just doing for a few hours. It could be the whole entire day. I mean, even all the way to the nighttime, because some people like to do their weddings, starting from the morning, then all the way to like almost midnight. I mean, one event that we did, me and a few of my friends did, it was like a quinceañera. Sorry, I was gonna get hosed down right there. But yeah, no, it's a quinceañera, which went almost till like 10 o'clock. And also it was out of town too. It was in the Bay Area. So that was like time having to drive over there and then time having to drive back. So again, there's a lot of factors that play into it, to where you have to, like, you know, work that into your schedule. Because again, you might have another project or another gig the next day, which it's happened to me before. Like a couple of years ago, we had like, a friend of mine, or two friends of mine, they had a wedding back to back with each other. And so I had to make the time of like, okay, I'll come in and do photos for you on Saturday, and then you know, for you, I'll do your photos and videos the next day, which is Sunday. So the only thing is that I may not be able to get all the stuff back to them in time. Or no, not in time, but like just as soon as possible. So for me, that was just like heavy duty scheduling, because, you know, doing back-to-back gigs like that, it can be overwhelming. And, you know, it's like, for me, I have to give my clients a heads up that, hey, I'm not going to be able to get your photos or videos done to you that quick. Is that okay? And, you know, it's like a lot of you know, my clients, which are like my friends, they were very understandable and said, no, just, you know, get it to us when you can. So, you know, that does help with scheduling too, is having understanding clients who would be willing to say, hey, that's absolutely fine. Just, you know, do your thing. But yeah, so now is also making time to edit all those photos. And a lot of times, like, I would get like over thousands of photo shots from like those events, because, you know, for me, I try to capture as much as I can to have more to work with than less, because moments like that, you'll never get it back. It's not like filmmaking where you yell cut and start from the top. You know, so that's photography right there. Or no, just events like that. So yeah, as far as like editing goes, that's usually like one of the hardest processes, because you're having to go through all these thousands of photos that you took, and then finding the best ones, and then having to edit them. You know, that's always like, to me, like the longest time I've had at the workspace, which is my computer. And so I think the last time I did a wedding photography gig, I was at the computer for almost, 4 hours. I mean, a lot of people would say, like, 4 hours isn't a lot. Well, the thing is that was like only 4 hours of like, looking into like the photos, going through the photos, and then after finding most of the photos, it's like now I gotta start editing them. And at that time, I'm starting to get a little bit faster right now, but at that time, like, I didn't know too much about like the settings, but now, like, knowing a lot more of the settings on the camera, that is, so now I'm able to get some really good shots, as well as like using like really good equipment like lenses and cameras. It makes editing a little bit more easier, you know, because like just doing some touch-ups or maybe like fixing the colors like that, it doesn't take that long anymore. But you know, it's still a long time at the desk, and you know, I think having to like do all that, it's like I come to an understanding why like photographers charge, you know, a lot for like gigs like that, because there is a lot of work, because you're there for the event the whole day possibly, and then you're going to be editing like all those photos, so it's just going to be a workload. So just be prepared to make time for that too. But again, if you have a day job, it's going to be rough. Day job and also a family, it's like it's going to be rough. But you know, like I said, it's like with good scheduling, you can get all those done for photography. Now, moving on to the next topic, which is filmmaking. So let's go this way. Yeah, so for filmmaking, that one to me is probably by far the biggest one of all to work with, because it's basically where scheduling like really shines, because you have to make time to meet up with, you know, the cast, like the actors, then you got the crew. You know, you have the lighting crew, the sound crew, and the props, makeup crew, or whoever is going to be involved. And now you have to find a time where everybody can meet up at the same time. And if one of them has, you know, like a day job or, you know, family events that they have to go to, now that just makes it even more challenging, because you're trying to make, you know, a time where everybody can meet up together. If, say for instance, your main actor cannot make it to the shoot, but everyone else can, now you have issues. You have big time issues, because now you have a movie to film and you have a deadline to meet. So it just makes it all the more challenging. And now, on top of that, you're also, like say if you're renting out costumes, props, and all that, or even sets, it's like now you only have a certain time and day to have those stuff available to you. But if you have some poor scheduling, you're gonna miss that opportunity. Like, you know, for instance, like me and some of my high school friends, we were filming a mystery movie called Mystery Man. In fact, like there's some clips of it on my my YouTube page too, where basically I was able to get the middle school that I used to go to one day, because it had like this kind of like a department, like a police department kind of look. I mean, basically when you watch the film, that little clip, you'll see what I mean. It's like we were able to get that spot for like a good 5 hours, because, you know, I knew the principal at that time. He used to be my elementary school principal, and he said, okay, we're having a volleyball game on Saturday. I'm supposed to open the gym for them, and I can let you guys film, you know, in the school in the meantime. So, which was cool. But again, 5 hours goes really quick. And, you know, a couple of the actors, you know, they were running a little late, and, you know, that kind of lost us some time right there. But, you know, again, it's like, that was kind of my bad too, on my part, because first of all, it's like, I kind of gave them an estimated time versus like an actual time. So, learned that the hard way. But, you know, I also learned, you know, through that experience why scheduling is so important, because every moment counts. And, you know, just like the, you know, the actual movies, that people film at the studios like Warner Brothers Studios or Universal Studios. You only get the lot or the set for a certain amount of days, weeks, or months. And after that, they have to pass it on to the next movie production. So if you aren't finished at that time, it's like, well, oh well. It's like, you had this amount of time to do it, why didn't you finish it? So, that's just one of the kind of harsh realities of filmmaking, is like not meeting, the deadline because, you didn't schedule everything right. But I mean, heck, if you are able to schedule like the time, place, and time, place, and props, or whatever the case is, then, you're gonna be able to pull it off. So, definitely make use of the time. That's why for me, it's been so hard to do any of my filming right now. Like even a short film that, you're gonna hear me bring up all the time is, the recorder. Even that one, it took a good scheduled timing to get, my niece and nephews together, and then, get to the location and just start filming. We didn't exactly, finish when we were planning on finishing, which is at least 3 days. We ended up filming an extra day, 4 days total. And, with that, it's we almost missed our deadline. But, the point is we didn't take the time to schedule a rehearsal day to, practice. So we just kind of shot on the go. But no, that took scheduling nonetheless. And I think if we didn't schedule any times to get together, say that week was Thanksgiving weekend. Oh no, Thanksgiving week. We were able to get together and just shoot a film, and we made it work. I think if you put that time into making a schedule, things will all start to come together. There may be delays, no lies there. There may be some, interruptions, but, it's better than not having a schedule at all. So, but anyways, that's pretty much a bit of filmmaking right there as far as scheduling goes. Is you want to try and get a time where, you can do some writing or do some photography, editing photos, or making a film and then editing the film, and then getting all the actors and your crew together. So it's very, very time consuming too. So you gotta make use of your time, because you never know, you may get a few hours at a set, but then shoot, next thing you know, 5 hours pass and you gotta go. But otherwise, and that's just how it is with life itself, is just making the time to do what you love to do. And so if you plan out right, you can make things happen. But anyways, so coming to an end on my stop. About to go grab me some lunch right now too. It's been a long day, but thanks for joining me on this walk. Next time, well actually hopefully tomorrow, if all goes well to the schedule, we can take another walk and do some more talking. But otherwise, thanks for joining me today on this walk. Again, hope everybody's doing well, staying safe, staying alive, staying healthy and strong. So until then, this is Jason Lore with Jason Lore Photography and Films, bringing art, stories, and entertainment.